Hey guys, it's Adox, and today we'll be looking over Havencraft to see, what cards are worth picking up for it in set 2. Havencraft actually got quite some good cards, I think, in set 2. So we'll just look at the cards that, have been added to the deck originally. So the original game plan with Havencraft was pretty much to, survive till turn 5. After turn 5, you can kind of curve, control the game, and just kind of outgrind the opponent with the amulets like that, cracking them, making Holy Sentinel tigers, and then I think you also have the G&D arcs, they can create kind of board destruction, board wipes and stuff. But just overall, it just aims to control the game. Once you get to turn 5, you usually do win. Unless the opponent somehow can still push past turn 5 and still do good on turn 6 and turn 7, then Havencraft does tend to lose at that stage. But anyway, so from what we can see for the changes, so first of all we do have Kaguya. I think we had a couple other cards as well. This is a new card as well, but we've only put that once. Now we do have, I can't remember this one, I think it was Elena's Call, I can't remember. But there was this one as well, and I think they were the two changes from this list. Now looking at the next list, we do see the Kaguya again. We also do have, was another card I saw in this list. Might just be in the Kaguya. Yes, I think it's just the Kaguya in this. Oh, sorry, and the Beast Core Aria, sorry. So just those two. Looking at the next list. So we do see the I can't remember his name, I think it's the Sentinel. We do see the Seraph, we see Kaguya. We do see the Beast Core Aria again as well. And we also do see the cute little Frog Cleric. I think it's kind of neat. Next, we have another list. So again, we do see the Kaguya again. What else do we have here? We do see, I think, I can't remember the name, but there's a new free drop. We do see the Seraph, as well as, I think it's the Sentinel, I can't remember his name. And then on the side, we do have the cheeky little Frog Cleric here as well. Okay, next in this list, we do see the Beast Core Aria again. We've got the Frog Clerics, and of course the Kaguyas as well. We do see two of the Seraphs, and then we do see the Sentinels, and then we got that new generic 9 drop. Which is BAHAMUT. Alright, next list. We do again see the Kaguya, we do see the Seraph, we see the Sentinel, and then we also do see the Beast Core Aria again. And I think that was the main changes in this list. Looking at another list. We do again see the Kaguya, we see the Beast Core Aria, we see the Toad Cleric, Frog Cleric, sorry, and then we do see a couple of the Sentinels as well. Going into another list, we again do see the Kaguya. Where is a Beast Core Aria in this list? Yes, there's a couple of Beast Core Arias. We do see the two of the Sentinels, and we also do see the Seraph again too. Alrighty, and then going into our final list, we again do see the Kaguya. We do have, I'm pretty sure it was Beast Core, was it Beast Core Aria in this one as well? Yes, 3 Beast Core Arias. I think those were the 2 big changes for this list. Everything else seems to be from set 1. I could, unless there's something I'm looking over, I could be mistaken. But anyway, so the main consensus from looking at these lists is the biggest card that is run in every list is Kaguya, followed by Beast Core Aria most of the time, and then always there's a couple other things like the Sentinel, the Seraph. We do see a couple other cards as well. So let's see what the cards actually do. We'll start off with the Killer Flood Cleric. So here's a 2-drop, and Fanfare, add 2 to your leader's health. And then you can activate 2 PP and add 1 to your leader's health. So it isn't too bad, I guess, in some stages where you might not draw any amulets. I don't know, crazy. Usually you'd always have an amulet anyway. But this is something you can just drop. Start recuperating some health, just so you don't die and actually get turn 5. Because again, versus decks like especially Swordcraft and Abysscraft, they aggro very hard. They're trying to make sure that you don't get enough PP, so then you can come back from the game. So Frog Cleric is also kind of like a nice little addition to the craft. Then we do have the Beast Core Aria. So in Fair, you can put a Holy Falcon into the field and activate 2 PP, so you can act and put this card into the graveyard, put a Holy Flame Taker into the field. So that's pretty good. So for a free drop, you make a 2/2 Falcon, and then which I think it costs 2 or 3 to cast. I could be wrong, I can't remember. And then the Holy Flame Tiger, really solid 4/4. And then obviously you're going to add different things to it, with your amulets and stuff. So it's really nice. Then next we have the Kaguya, the one we saw in pretty much every single list. So it's evolved to evolve this card. Now, whenever an amulet enters your field, choose an enemy follower, deal X damage to it. X is the cost of the amulet that enters the field. Then Fanfare, choose an amulet in your hand with cost 3 or less and put it in the field. So that's really strong. So you play your Kaguya, and then you get to play an amulet for free that's 3 or less. So it enters first, and when you play an amulet, the amulet can do 3 damage to something straight off the bat, depending on what it is. So it's really solid all round. So you have a way of kind of, turn 5, kind of just like, controlling the board a little bit, trying to get rid of annoying little things. Again, the bigger the amulet, the bigger the damage is going to be. So that's really good. Now, the evolve form, which is really good, is Kaguya Evolved. So whenever an amulet enters your field, choose an enemy follower, do X damage to it. X is the cost of the amulet that enters the field. And then on Evolve, you put an Emerald Moon into the field and add 3 to your leader's health. So that's really good. So you regain some health and you create an Emerald Moon. Now the Emerald Moon is actually quite strong too. So as long as this card is in the field, all your Kaguya do not take damage during your turns. And then at the start of your main phase, banish it. So essentially, if you can play a couple of amulets and stuff like that, so pretty much you have this turn, to play some amulets, start controlling the board. You have the Emerald Moon for your Evolve, for Kaguya, and then on the opponent's turn, your Kaguya is perfectly fine. They can't take any damage. So then on your next turn, if the Kaguya is still alive, because obviously you can still be destroyed by like effects and stuff, you can again play more amulets and really take advantage of the Kaguya Evolved. Kind of just mowing down the opponent's cards, with the amulets, because again she does damage to followers equal to the cost of the amulet. So very, very strong. So I can see why Kaguya was ran in every single list. It's a really good card. Now we have the Instashud Starif. I think this is honestly one of my favorite cards. Just really, really good. So it's a little bit slow, but I personally feel like once you get there, the payoff I think is pretty good. So this card cannot be destroyed by abilities. At the start of your end phase, put a prayer counter on this card. And then if this card is form or prayer counters, put it into your graveyard, add 10 health to your leader's health, and then search the deck for 2 cards and put them in the EX area. When you play them, their cost becomes 0. So you can search for anything in your deck and put it into the EX area. That is really, really good. Obviously, again, it does take 4 of your end phases, but it's essentially, if you do get there, you can again look for anything, and then you get to play. Their cost becomes 0. You get to anything. This is really good. Now next we have the Heavenly Aegis. Let's evolve one. So evolve to ignore this card, but you can also evolve by discarding 3 cards from your hand. You evolve this card. Now it has Aura, and this card so it cannot be destroyed by like abilities, but clash damage and damage dealt by abilities can destroy it. But then we look at the evolved, it's a 10/10, which also has aura. And then during this turn, and your enemy's player's next turn, this card does not take damage. So, when you evolve this, again, because in evolving they have strike, this can crash into something. This is probably going to guarantee to kill anything. And then it won't, it doesn't take any damage on the turn it's evolved for your turn, the opponent's next turn, so when it goes back to your turn, this card will still be on the board, because again it also has aura. So meaning, if the opponent does not have any wards, you swing a 10 at their face. That's a lot of damage. So Havencraft is definitely very, very strong. You know, again, if you were to run it, maybe 1 or 2 copies at most, like for the big one, because again, it's an 8-drop. You know, you eventually get there, you know, fairly easily, but it's still quite quite high. And then lastly, we do have the Ilana's Prayer. So once per turn, when health is added to your leader, all your followers get +1/+1. So there are a couple of ways with like amulets and stuff of, you know, generating health. Also again with the Fog Cleric and a couple of other cards too. So essentially this helps make your, you know, followers much bigger, which is really good. And yeah, just overall a very, very strong amulet. So anyway, that is all the cards that, you know, kind of change for set 2 and the cards you should be looking at buying. And yeah, just if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, and while you're down there, why not subscribe and hit the notification bell so when I upload another video, you will be notified. AirDogs out. See ya.